Okay, so Darrion, obviously you've been waiting a while for this rematch and everything. Just now that it's here, how prepared are you feeling? What's the emotions of fight week right now?
Normal in emotions. I'm just ready to get this weight off. Friday night, smash this guy. A lot more focused than I was in Japan. Different atmosphere, but pretty much the same thing as any time I go out there and fight. I got the mind state of taking this guy out.
Yeah, and this is such a unique circumstance, of doing one fight over in Japan, different promotion, different, ring to cage and everything. Just can you compare and contrast what it was like the first time around and then now going into this one?
It was just a lot more, a lot less training, and a lot more of this right here, and so really I got to focus in on myself and get better throughout the 6 months. Obviously he took that fight against some crap one. Yeah, whatever his name is. He got kicked out of the UFC, and then he decided to take a fight in between the fights. So he felt like he needed that to polish up for this fight. But I've been ready to go since they raised his hand. I've been ready to put this behind me and get back in the cage with him. So I knew he'd have to eventually come over into my world. And obviously June 14th, I get to show out.
Yeah, and how, obviously the biggest factor is the cage versus the ring. How does that differ in terms of, what you're wanting to do in there, just the overall dynamic of the fight in terms of cutting angles and all those different things that vary from a ring versus a circular cage?
Well, obviously it plays a different factor. You put pressure up against the ring and there's give. You put a Kimura on a guy and referees are pulling you back into the cage, different positions. So those things play a factor, And so my goal is to do what I've been doing and go out there, put pressure on him, and beat him up.
Yeah. Do you think he had the bigger advantage by you coming over to fight in a ring, or do you have the bigger advantage by him coming over fight you in a cage?
I think regardless, we're going to go out there and fight, and it's my job to beat this guy up. So wherever we fight at, I should be able to beat this guy, and I've got enough experience in the cage to where I know where I want to be, where I want to get. So look for June 14th to be an early night for this guy.
Yeah, you know the sport very well. Where does Horiguchi in your mind rank among the best Japanese fighters ever?
Well, right now he's definitely a top 3 bantamweight in the world. Japanese fighters, I wouldn't know. He beat me, so he's got to be up there top 5, right?
For sure. And just what from the first loss you had in your career, you learned so much. You came back, absolute redemption, got the loss back, went on a winning streak. Now you're looking to do that again. But what lessons did you really take away from that fight against Horiguchi, the first one?
Well, we got Chael over here screaming, so I couldn't really hear this question, but I'm all for it.
I just asked what lessons you learned from that fight. You obviously grew a lot from your first loss, and then coming off this one, what do you take into this fight?
Like I said earlier, he needed to get a fight in between my fight and our last ones just to feel like he was ready for this one. So honestly, it was just more about listening to my coaches, putting a lot more training sessions in, and June 14th, I'm ready to rock.
Yeah. And do you think of anything beyond this fight, or is it just, because there's talk of maybe that Bellator tournament, there's a trilogy, it seems like there's going to be a lot of opportunity on the horizon if you get this win here. Do you allow yourself to think about any of that?
I am going to be in a Bellator tournament. I'm going to be the 45-pound champ by 2020, so.
There you go. Do you know when that would start? It sounds like late this year, right?
Yeah, it should start this year, and look for the Wolf to be in there. I'm ready to mix it up with those guys. I'm undefeated at 45. I've never shied away from competition. There's never been a bout contract in front of me where I said no. So look for me to jump up to the 145-pound division and take those guys out as well.
Yeah. In terms of 135, though, where does the winner of this fight rank in terms of the overall 135 rankings? We just saw a championship change in the UFC. TJ Dillashaw is suspended. Where's this winner fall?
This is for the #1 bantamweight in the world. There's no other bantamweight that matters right now except Kyoji Horiguchi, Darrion Caldwell, and the winner of this fight right here is the king.
You think you'll get that respect from the MMA community?
I will get that respect.
Perfect. Looking forward to it.
And if not, then it's fuck the MMA community.